Happy New Year! Let's build the perfect bathroom.
And some other things. The Christian Principles Podcast is brought to you by the Herzog Foundation, but bear in mind, the thoughts and opinions of this podcast are those of the hosts and not necessarily of the Herzog Foundation.
Welcome to the Christian Principles Podcast. I'm Matt George.
I'm Mark Zockoll. We're really excited about today because today we get to start a new year with you. Happy New Year. Matt, Happy New Year to you and yours, actually. Did you stay up too late last night to watch the New Year's come in?
I haven't gone to bed yet all year. I haven't slept once all year long.
All year. I can't stay up anymore. I don't even try. We don't plan for it. We plan for a normal evening on December. Last day of December.
Yeah. See, I got the kids now that technically can stay up. They're not the ones who they have to go to bed,
Oh man. Well, on this episode, we're going to be hitting a lot of stuff. We're going to start with just some kind of miscellaneous things, and then we're going to move on hodgepodge of stuff. But then we're actually going to move into some just bathroom talk. Okay, let's have some bathroom talk amongst us.
Potty talk.
First up, though, we are going to start hoping again to draw many of you to the Maryland Association of Christian Schools Administrators Retreat happening on March 23rd. Okay, March 23rd, 2026. I know you don't want to break out your calendars already, but we did this last year. Matt and I were invited to host this last year. We're pumped to do it again for the Maryland Association of Christian Schools. We want to see all the Max members there, obviously, but then we want to see you there as well. So if you are looking for a single-day retreat and you are anywhere on the East Coast, if you are there in PA, in NY, in NJ, in WV, if you're down the DE, if you're down even in like the VA, we would love to have you come to the Max Administrators Retreat. It's held at the
Restoration Farm.
Thank you. I was gonna look it up. But we won't have to cut that. We won't even have to cut that out now because you just jumped right up there.
Smooth sailing.
Very good. Our friend Brian Wilson is going to make sure we have the Restoration Farm there in beautiful Harford County ready to go once again. Those of you who have attended in the past know that it's just a quiet, peaceful getaway, and we stay. It's cold. It's very cold. So we don't usually go outside or anything, but we stay in this a nice space. We're used to where it is. There's multiple rooms to break up into. There's a larger central area with a nice hearth, and it's a beautiful time. So make sure you prepare to come out to the Max Administrator Retreat. Right now, just reserve that date. We'll make sure to get you the information you need to sign up for the Max Administrators Retreat. Next up, a big reminder about the major events coming up this year. Matt,
2026.
Tell me, what is the global event which occurs every it's not every other winter. What is it? Every 4 years in the winter time?
Every 4 years.
Every 4 years.
About the Olympics, of course.
Yeah,
Winter Olympics 2026.
And we'll say we had thought about doing a lot of different things with this episode, and one of the things we considered was, what if we compared every one of these major events to our school and our different school events we'd have coming up, and say, like, as you think about the Winter Olympics, not only perhaps do something fun for your school, Winter Olympic theme based, but then compare it personally to something you have going on, and see if you can develop that event specifically more so because you're thinking about the Winter Olympics. Here's what I mean. The Winter Olympics, we know it's a reoccurring event that takes a team of people. Now, this team of people, they get together and they work together, or even if it's the individuals, they have the team around them. But largely speaking, there's a conglomeration of people representing the country and putting the best foot forward of that country. And it happens, on that rotating 4-year basis. Hey, that sounds like accreditation to me. So are you ready for your accreditation visit? Are you ready to get ready for next year's accreditation visit? How are you prepping for that? Matt, another one, which I gotta say, I hope the Steelers don't make it. I really do. And if they do, I hope they lose. But right now, it's looking like it won't be my Ravens anyway, which is sad. Yeah. But we got Super Bowl 60 coming up, Matt. What could you think of an event there at a school that it's a one-off? And now these teams stay together. Of course, these teams come together every year, and they work hard all year together for this major one-off event that is it's all culminating, it's money on the line, it's everything to them. You
You
got
know,
any event like that in the school year?
the thing that kind of jumps to my mind, which you may not like this idea, but this is the valedictorian salutatorian sometimes fight that culminates with
Interesting.
graduation, right?
Wow.
There are classes where the seniors they don't really care. They support each other. They love it for whoever they know since 5th grade. That guy's going to be the valedictorian, like, you know. But
Yeah.
sometimes you do get that class where it's like they're fighting all the way to the 3rd quarter, and you know, I don't know if there's probably a better one, but that's what came to my mind right away.
Hey, that's good. I'll take it. Moving on, we got the World Cup coming up in that late spring, early summertime. I saw ticket prices for the World Cup recently, and the general outcry was they are so expensive people cannot afford them. However, they also sold out within, moments of
Right.
opening. So it's like, well, yeah, I get it. I get why they're charging what they do. But the World Cup I think of as less so that Olympic. It is regularly reoccurring. It does have to do with nations. But what I hear about the World Cup, especially being an American, is that the team, like the US team, gets together for this, but they don't get together for a lot of other things, which is different. Again, like for basketball, it's 5, it's not 11. And they're all star now they're all stars, the same with like different other sports. But for whatever reason, the World Cup, I think about this less as the known team and more of like the team that gets put together. So if I was thinking about a World Cup, an event in our school that looks like a World Cup event, once again, it's not as it's not necessarily regularly held, but it is something that brings together a mix of people under one banner. I think of something that would be including our PTA, perhaps our students, and our faculty and staff, and definitely the leadership squad. I think of like a spring festival, or I think of a time when I am trying to see the community around me come in with that larger team, and I'm bringing all efforts to bear. Maybe this is a spring fundraiser as well, all my efforts coming to bear for this event in a way that's larger than usual.
Yeah, and maybe it's one of those that you're not doing annually, but you have on
Mhm.
like a 4-year rotation or something like that
Yeah. Like,
because
yeah, you
it
could
takes that much effort. Yeah.
that's absolutely true, absolutely true. Last one up we wanna bring to your attention would be, of course, the US's 200 and not only should you check out the Herzog Foundation's 250th, Road to 250, the media presentations they've been making every Friday, but then we think about our own heritage. We think about our own traditions, our own history of our schools.
Hmm.
So maybe this year you are on a 5th or a 10th or whatever it happens to
Or a
be. Maybe you're
50th.
on or a 6, 7. Who knows?
Okay. No,
I
no,
don't
you went
know.
there.
I don't know. But maybe
I don't know.
but maybe you need to recognize something about your institution. So review with us these major events. Maybe that sparks some thoughts in your head about what you want to do or what you need to do. Or wait, that's right. I should get on this because these are
You
some
know,
big events coming up.
I would love to know if we have a school that will be celebrating their 250th anniversary. Wouldn't that be awesome?
I
Like,
think it's
you know what? Our
possible.
school started the same year that this country got
Yeah.
started.
Yeah. No, not one school and not one school. I guess I don't know. What was that
I
kindergarten up
mean,
there in Wisconsin? But it's not actually in use anymore. So
yeah, no, but like you got like the Harvards and Yales and stuff, but
no, they're not even that old. Yeah. All right. No, you're good. Now you got me wondering.
yeah,
Wait a
I
minute.
know.
How old is
You
Harvard?
got to start looking around.
How old is Harvard? Because
It's older.
it
It's
is.
older.
It is older than you're right. I was
Yeah.
completely wrong when I said that earlier. I should
Yeah,
have put
it's
2
older.
thoughts towards that because I knew that because I'm reading right now about Alexander Hamilton and how he wound up at King's
Yeah.
College. Of
Yeah,
course,
Kings, yeah.
there's the Yale and the
No.
Princeton. They're already having their fights. So,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
I knew that before. So, anyway,
I was thinking
forgive me.
more along, our Christian schools, which they didn't
Yeah.
come around
Okay.
until about 50
All
years
right.
ago.
Okay. All right. All right. Well, I mean, not many institutions were starting in 1776 because all the fellows were out fighting. But
Yeah, I was like, yeah. we are we are Calvary Christian Academy, founded in 1776.
yeah, you could just say it. All right.
Calvary Constitutional Christian.
That'd be a cool name though. We will reveal that we do have a goal for this year. We do have a goal of reaching 500 followers for the podcast by the end of 2026. I say this and my wife laughs at me because she has a video right now on her page, Living Well A to Z, that's actually gone. I mean, it's got to be considered viral because the number of followers she has versus the size of this video, it's pretty incredible. She's not monetized or anything, but it's crazy that this video is taken off how it's taken off. So she won't think that we're all that cool, but you know what? We're okay with where we are right now. We're okay
Yeah,
with that. That's
we're
fine. But we
fine.
are going to hope to have a goal of seeing 500 followers and, of course, continue to have the same sort of impact via the different opportunities we took this year to go out in the fall and be with some listeners and to see some people and to know our people, to be at the different events we're able to go to, and to add one to that lineup, or maybe shake up that lineup, but add one in spring of 2027 that we've already talked about before, down in
Yeah.
Florida, down there in Florida. Before we keep moving on into our perhaps more focused content about the potties, let's talk about the Herzog Foundation and GradeLink School Information Systems really fast. So, remember, we've talked to you before about your New Year's resolutions, your New Year's plannings, what you're going to do differently for your school year if you're going to, I don't like that. We've talked before about how the Herzog Foundation offers opportunities for you as the leader and you as the board and your teachers to grow. We want to highlight again the Herzog Foundation Leadership Development Series. Leadership Development Series, remember, you get yourself there, they pay for everything else. So, just to name a few of these events for you and the dates surrounding them, I'd point you to starting on February the 18th through the 20th. At Gulf Shores, Alabama, we have the Marketing and Enrollment Herzog Foundation Leadership Development Series happening there. You can still sign up for that one. There's Spiritual Formation happening in late February as well. There's a big one in Philadelphia. The American 250 National Convention for Christian Education is taking place in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, which, of course, Independence Hall.
Pretty
There'll be
awesome.
historical tours, lots of keynote speakers. That's March 8th through the 10th. Matt, you got a very specific invite for that one, so we'll see if you're able to make it, but we were excited for that one. There's a general leadership in Christian education happening on March 16th through 18th. That's in Nashville. I'm going to read off a few more of these, and these are stretching anywhere from March all the way to later summer into the fall. All right, so we have donor development and board leadership, and there is spiritual formation again, marketing enrollment. These are recurring as well. All of these happening between now and the end of fall 2026. So again, get yourself there, sign yourself up, sign up a board member, sign up another principal, get yourself there. We haven't even talked about their virtual options or their teacher development series either. So there you go, the Herzog Foundation. Please check them out and let them know that the boys here at the Christian Principles Podcast sent you, okay?
And as we talk about our other partner with GradeLink Student Information Systems, if you are on the lookout as we start this new year for perhaps a change in student information systems, give GradeLink a look. If you need that management system that's practical, that's affordable, GradeLink may be the way to go. It's reliable, straightforward. It won't overwhelm you with complexity or cost. You can just go to cpp.gradelink.com to see how it can make your school's life that much easier.
That much easier. We're thankful for those relationships we have with the Herzog Foundation and with GradeLink. Now, we're moving on. We told you we're going to talk about the potty today.
Yes,
because
we're back to the bathroom.
Back to the bathroom. We started in the bathroom. It was episode number 2 for us. It was our first number 2. It was our first number 2. Oh, the potty jokes. They're coming in hot and steady today. Hot and ready.
Hot and steamy.
All right. We have further bathroom talk today. So, Matt, if you were going to create the perfect bathroom, if we're going to start out our new year in a perfect building and the perfect placement, and this is technically in the Building the Perfect series, but we've done other things today as well, so we won't be able to spend as much time on this. But what are some just overall themes, not of porcelain or steel and not of the color, but is there a general concept or a theme or something you're looking for now after being in this game for as long as you've been in this game?
Yeah, there's something that's really funny. I'll share this because there's a bit of a history as to why we put this one on the docket. Because number one, you always look at your bathroom set up within your facility and you're like, oh man, there's got to be a better way. There's got to be a better way. But then when I take my teachers away to a teachers conference at another school, like 9 times out of 10, the things that they comment about the most is, did you notice this about the bathrooms?
Mhm.
And and there's always those little things that you're like, that's an idea. That's an idea. That's really nice. That's really nice. And so, yeah, that's what kind of led us into this discussion. And I think, well, going back to our number 2 episode, which I encourage everybody to go back and listen to, I did describe our facilities at our school. We have 2 larger bathrooms and 2 smaller bathrooms. And, you know, as we think about all of the headaches that come along with bathrooms, the cleaning, the maintaining, the issues when kids go in there and just mess things up, all that kind of thing. We start dreaming, what would be the ideal situation, which I don't know if we'll ever land on. But the question here that I have is the kind of where we can start, we can get the ball rolling is it better to have a larger capacity bathroom or like a string of bathrooms,
Mm.
just single use, neutral, just whichever one's available. I will say, in order for this one to work, you'd be kind of looking at in some ways, just the porta potty thing where, occupied, not occupied. You'd have to have some kind of signage, which there's a school that we went to that had lights, green light
Mhm.
for it's available, red light, it's not available, which is awesome. As soon as you turn
Mhm.
that door, it switch lights. I'm sure that if those lights go out, it may not be the most wonderful thing to fix, but you'd probably have to have something like that. But I have wondered. I know for cleaning purposes, you're cleaning more bathrooms, probably not as easy. But on a management side, probably far more easy. I don't know. What do you think on that point?
When I went to Ireland, visited Mr. Josh Moore, who's been on our podcast as a guest prior. His church service was taking place in a European school building, and their bathroom setup was not a long hallway of single use, sign on the outside, or electric sign on the outside showing it was occupied or not. Not stalls, but like single use little rooms that are what would you expect in a pre-K room, but for regular sized people. And it was 3 on one side, 3 on another, go down the hallway a little bit, 3 on one side, 3 on another. And so there was what looked like 2 shorter hallways of bathrooms facing each other. And of course, single use, open the door, 1 toilet. I there wasn't I What I'm trying to remember right now is if there was a sink inside or a sink outside. But I've long thought about that being the perfect or an imperfect setup. Here's what I love about it. I love that you can have cameras all over that space.
Yeah.
Cameras can be on that space because once that single student shuts that single door, they're private. But you don't have the craziness of 10 young men in the restroom together waiting to go potty, or whatever it happens to be, able to line up out. There might be a lineup outside, but again, it's a lineup in the hallway that you have
In the
camera
controlled
viewpoint on.
environment.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
controlled
yeah.
environment, exactly. And then there's whether or not it was the hand washing station outside, which of course presents the issue of it must have been inside because then you're having to deal with the germs in the door. So I'm sure it was
Yeah.
inside, but I've thought
Yeah, I'd
of
have them
what if
inside.
you had one on the outside. So you have one on the inside, one on the outside, and then if you could always send students to the outside sink for
Yeah.
the out of room, the hallway sink, as opposed to having, because a lot of times students are
Then they
going
wouldn't
to
have
the
to.
restroom, yeah,
That's a great point.
to wash their hands, but they only have to wash. They could wash their hands in that hallway sink, but of course you're opening up the opportunity for a lot of issues. So if this is the building the perfect restroom series, and we are remembering to build the perfect one, I would say I want a hallway sink, or like
Hmm.
a triple sink in the hallway, so I don't have to send students into the restroom to wash their hands, which would make for fewer restroom trips and a lot more visibility. I really do like that single use, neutral, genderless restroom setup, but I can't get away from, you said the porta potty feel. It would be a porta potty feel
It's
because
a
either
porta potty feel.
it's going to be a string down a building. And so I could have 5 out of 10 messes, to deal with. as opposed to one place that I can more
Yeah, but there's also
quickly.
that thing. The other thing that's beautiful about that is you can close one down while the others are still operational potentially.
Sure, sure,
And while,
absolutely.
if you have an issue in your bigger bathroom, you gotta shut the whole thing down. Like,
Mhm.
that's the other kinda difficult thing for me. And I guess when I think about a string, like our bathrooms, you have your hallway going this way, and then our bathrooms, come off of the hallway. Like, in my mind, I'd still see those single use. You just have 2 different hallways
Mhm.
of, well, in our situation, probably be 3 single use on each side, so you've got 6, total bathrooms. Might be room for a 4th on each one, so it'd be 8. But yeah, I mean, there, depending on which way you go with it, I think you're gonna have that kind of feeling. Um, but, if I can move into another thing,
Well, before you
if
do move to the next thing, though, I also have the question of placement of we like the single restroom in pre-K. We like the idea of having the
yeah,
bathroom in there. At what grade level do we not like that idea anymore?
right, a
Like, I
bathroom in
like
the
it for
classroom.
pre-K. I like it for pre-K. I like it for K-5. I probably still am okay with it for, like, 1st grade. At some point, though, it phases out, and students aren't going to wanna go use a restroom in front of everybody, so to speak,
Yeah,
with that closet restroom. But if it is perfect, I'm keeping pre-K, K-5, and maybe 1st grade in their own rooms using the restroom as much as possible, and it's only and then, of course, in the perfect setup, I'm having a very distinct line between who uses not that we don't shouldn't have this already if we have the opportunity to, but, I'm talking about not faculty and staff, but students. I'm having very specific, like, grade level each grade level gets their own potty,
yeah,
gets their own
which
bathroom.
yeah, to have it in the classroom is really ideal.
Mhm.
The only thing I would put onto that is you make sure that thing is ultra soundproof.
Oh, of course,
That's
yeah. I
just
mean,
what I'm gonna
well
say, and move
well,
move
the
on from
same
it.
well, the same with the single uses, though, because I think
Right,
about
same thing. Yeah,
in a larger bathroom setup, if I walk into a restroom and it's got 4 urinals and then it's got 4 or 5, toilets in it in a restaurant or whatever else, and it's got the loud industrial fan going on, maybe even some music and whatnot, that's none of that's available if it's gonna be in the hallway. In the
right.
hallway, it's going to be it's the opportunity for embarrassment.
Yeah,
A
yeah.
kid like this go throw up. Like, a kid's gonna be a possibility for much more embarrassment, so I guess it's gonna have to be
Yeah,
the perfect.
you've gotta raise up that
Yeah.
insulation and
Oh,
soundproofing
sure.
game
And
massively.
what do you do in those single situations? Again, there's hideable, offenses can be hidden in a larger restroom where, I say offense, accidents, offense, or whatever you wanna say, the need to call a teacher, the need to call support, that can be hidden in a larger restroom in a way that if we have that single line of restrooms and there's a button on the inside and there's a flashing yellow light on the outside saying needs teacher, needs support,
Mhm,
whatever it would be, that's gonna be problematic for the student, and
mhm.
lim uh, what otherwise could be a limited, a more confidential issue of an issue now is open to whoever is in that hallway, as opposed to Johnny having an issue telling Steve, "Hey, go get the teacher, go
Yeah,
get the teacher," or whatever, and it's somewhat more limited. So I think there are some of those practical things to think through. I'm sure somebody else has already thought through, so if you have, please
yeah.
tell us your stuff and what's amazing about it, but that before we moved on, I wanted to hit that too.
Well, on that point, let's just say that you absolutely don't agree with us that these single use ones are the way to go. So your school has that larger community bathroom, one for men, one for women. And so to kind of just stay along that line, you're not going to come with us on that one because the single use kind of automatically, I think, answers a lot of the other problems. Like the setup is
Mhm.
pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
But in the larger bathrooms, let's talk about stalls for a second.
Mhm.
And I don't know if we really have to take a long time, but whoever had the idea,
Well, we haven't had a short time yet, so let's just it is what it
whoever
is at
had
this
the
point.
idea of having like the bare essentials of stall walls and doors where like they're a foot off the
Yeah.
floor and like my head and shoulders are above the top of the, like, what's the let's not go there. I know I was just talking to my brother-in-law about going in. Maybe you guys went to a school or something that just had the brick wall on the side. Like that's all it
That's
was.
all
Like
they
you're
had. Yeah.
even as you're sitting, you're still up above everybody.
Uh-huh.
Um, come on, it's 2026, people. Let's get some privacy in these bathrooms.
That's exceptionally common though, and especially like the older public schools. That's exceptionally common. I remember
Yeah.
we would go to a public school gymnasium for our youth group growing up, and a lot of our students, was older. I say older build, whatever it was, 80s build or whatever. Our students wouldn't use the restroom there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And it was an elementary school, and our kids were like, "We're not using the restroom here. We're not used to this."
So listen, I get why we keep the gap off the floor so that we can, number one, see, is anybody needing help, as we were saying. Like that's kind of one of those things. Also cleaning, drainage, all that kind of stuff is very, very helpful to keep those off the floor. But I've been in a school where it was minimal and you're not going to have, these little kids that want to just come, oh, hi, how are you?
Oh, hi,
Would you, I'll say like in, not that I use public restrooms all that much, but like there have been times in like a Walmart or a Wawa where like suddenly this kid is joining me in my like, oh hey, how's it going? See ya. But also let's keep the taller men in mind. Let's raise those walls a little bit. I don't know. And then the door too, like the ones where the doors close but there's still a gap like this.
Yeah.
Like just a massive, just close those gaps. We don't need gaps.
You never want to make eye contact as you walk by.
Don't
but you're checking to see if there's
understand it.
anybody in there. Yeah, it's not easy.
I don't understand it at all.
Whatever it is, we
So
have to teach bathroom etiquette to everybody as they go by. We have these gaps in
There's
our
a
doors,
gap.
so you
There's
don't
a
make
gap
eye
there, so-
contact when you walk by. You have to walk by looking at their knees or their feet.
look at the feet. Look at the
Look at the
feet.
feet as you walk by. Well, but I remember there was a couple secondhand thrift shops that had put up a thrift, like a Plato's Closet or something like that, where it was previously definitely not retail, or it wasn't like a clothing store, so there wasn't. So they had erected these minimalistic changing rooms. I remember going in there as it might have been like when Andrew and we would do these trips in the wintertime to pick up gifts for like Will Lancaster, pick up gifts for everybody, as before we started doing Amazon a lot more. Don't at me for that, but kids. So I remember going into one of those and being like, well, this is extremely inappropriate because like shoulders up, I'm just out there changing and there's really not that much on either. There's nothing on either side. It's just the front door that would be privacy. So there is a thought that whenever we make these restrooms, there could be, if I could put a locker space there as well as the bathroom space, I would like that as well, because again, I want to cut down the amount of students who are going into the restroom into like the urinal toilet part of this bathroom as much as I possibly can. And a locker room would help out with that. And even one that, young kids do come into our facilities and older students want to come into our facilities wanting to still change in the, not all of them are ready to change in the open locker space. They want a stall, or they want a curtain or something like that. So if I had a way of dividing up that locker room, again, just keeping the kids away from the water lines is keeping I'm sorry, everything just blacked out on me for, I guess, lack of movement. But if I had a way of keeping kids away from the water lines, I'm going to try to take that opportunity. So again, going back to that sink outside the restroom, a locker room that maybe has a different door for a changing area, a locker room that maybe attaches to the bathrooms with an inner door, but I don't have to. I can just send the locker room and expect they won't go to that room. That would be another nice addition to this. Now, I had interrupted you. Where did you want to take this 5 minutes ago when you were trying to, and I said let's stop and talk about placement?
That was it.
Oh, the height of the
that was the height of the stalls. Yeah, I mean there are a million other things. I know, and our time is running short, but if I were to run through my other like top 5 things that need to be in a bathroom, like when I think about paper towel dispensers, I am not about these whole air. Those kind of gross me out. But also when I have to put my hand on the towel thing to like pump it to bring paper towels out, they make these amazing things where there's paper towels sticking out. You just grab the paper towel and it comes out. Like Please, let's just all go on that one. I
Yeah.
love that.
We talked about the roller towel last time. We're not going
Yeah,
down that
yeah,
route. We're not doing
yeah.
the
Don't
roller
go down
towel.
that. Yeah,
I
don't
will
do
say
that.
you also want to be very aware that a lot of children, and even up to, third, fourth grade, they don't like that noise. And
Yeah,
they will not go potty because of the noise of some of
yeah,
those Dyson air blade things. So,
yeah.
and those air blades, if you look at the restaurants or whatnot that use those, often there's like a stainless steel panel that goes
Mm-hmm.
into some kind of funnel that goes to the floor if they're doing it well. If they're doing it poorly, it's just a bare drywall wall that's
Yeah.
going to wind up getting destroyed because that water's just nailing that wall every time it goes down the wall off the hands.
Speaking of that, here's the other thing. Like, design our bathrooms so that I can bring a pressure washer in there and
Yes.
just go to
Yes.
town. Like,
Absolutely.
let's make sure we do that. I mean,
Hmm.
I know that may be difficult, but like
Well,
that should be, I think, a weekly opportunity for me to come in with my pressure washer and just and
take
it
the
all
paper towels off.
drains, it
Yeah.
all goes away, and we can maybe get some towels and wipe things off. But that's it.
No, I hear you. I have power washed a bathroom floor in my second installment. It was they had done this epoxy floor down, like a garage kind of floor, and it
Mm-hmm.
needed to get washed. And so I came in and I washed that thing as best as I could. Would you do with what would you do as far as an entry door and a would you do an entry door with a little
A
foyer for the
modesty door.
bathroom? Yeah, would you do it? How would you deal with that?
Yeah, I think there needs. I like there being, when you go into, especially it's a community bathroom, there being a wall or a hallway of privacy before you actually get to the
Mhm.
bathroom. Whether it's, you go and there's just a wall as soon as you open the door and you turn and go down a hallway and there it
Yeah.
is. I think that you should never be able to have the main door open and just stare into the bathroom
Or stare into a stall. Like,
or
whoever's
stare into a
designing
stall.
these
Like,
things, like,
yeah,
go walk through your own design and see
yeah,
if I stand here and I open the door, that I'm the architect who put the door there, can I see directly into a stall? Go
right.
test that out. And if you
Yeah,
can, don't do that.
yeah, which beyond that, like that goes back to our discussion on security cameras. I don't want to be
Yeah.
limited on where I
Yes.
can put a security camera in my building. I want to be able to
Mhm.
put it wherever. So, that wall placement is going to be really important.
Mhm. Absolutely. That's a big one. If we want to talk about, you talk about those red, green, in use signs, I'd probably go with the mechanical ones because they'd probably be a little easier
Yeah,
easier to replace.
same.
And with high usage, as much fun as the lights would be, and like a backlit mirror
Kind
and
of
a little
scares me.
and like a
Yeah,
hotel mirror with like a micro mirror that comes off and you can see. As much as that stuff would be nice, I want this, like you said, a little more of an industrial feel.
mechanical.
I wanna be able to power wash this thing and,
Yep.
blow all the germs to kingdom come, so I'm not interested in those frilly bits of it. I would want a speaker in there,
Yeah.
and a lot of the restrooms in church buildings and whatnot don't necessarily have that kinda access. They're reliant on, hearing it from the hallway outside or something else, so it would, in those designs, it would be very good to have that tied into your system. Absolutely.
Yep. I also, I'll mention this. I love a trough sink. The
Okay.
individual sinks, again, you're just asking for more problems, but a trough sink with a contactless water and soap dispenser where, you're not having to waste, or you're not
Mhm.
having to, all that kind of stuff is beautiful to me, which I see that a lot in gas stations, which, in gas stations is hit or miss. But
Oh, yeah.
when they hit, it's like, oh, if a gas station can do this, we should be able to do this.
Exactly. No, you're exactly right. Another gas station hit a shower. I would want a shower in my I would want a shower. And now I know we're kind of breaking into locker room versus
Yeah,
bathroom, but even if I just had an elementary school or through middle school, I still want a shower. I want the ability to be able to take someone in and to let them have a shower should they need it. So
right.
that would be, again, kind of, if I'm sending, I want to be able to send students into a space where they have complete privacy without being able to touch water. Well, I'd want that in that space as well,
Mhm.
like off the locker room area. So, outside of that,
Let's build it. Let's get it
I'm
done.
like my signages, I don't really have a lot of signage I want in that bathroom because those signages wind up looking old. If sometimes like on urinal walls or the white right in front of you or on the door facing you in a stall, there will be some kind of signage. That signage rarely looks good for long. And
Mhm.
more often than not, gets torn up, torn down, torn off, whatever it is. I'd probably just go with whatever my colors are that I could paint on with whatever high quality paint I could that would never come off, and that's it. I don't wanna mess with anything else.
Yeah, the only thing I would ask is at Christmas time, we put up, "Who is he in yonder stall?"
Uh, Perfect. And on that note, I think it's time to move away from this perfect bathroom build and talk about Mr. Keith Paddock. Matt, Mr. Keith Paddock, he is our Christian administrator spotlight holder of the day, and he is at Engleside Christian School in Alexandria, Virginia. And I think,
Mm.
as we have before, it's time just to go ahead and pray for Mr. Keith Paddock because we're out of time anyway. So go for it.
Let's pray. Father, thank you so much for Keith and his leadership at Ingleside. I pray, Lord, that you would watch over him in this new year. I know it's the middle of the school year, so as they get up and running here shortly, I just pray that things would come back smoothly, that you would encourage him, strengthen him. May he look forward to different events coming up this year that are going to allow him and his school to further their ministry for you. And I pray all this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Thanks for growing with us for the first time in 2026.
We want to thank you for listening. We're honored that you spend this time with us each week. Our heart is to bring you practical conversations and resources that really serve you as a Christian school leader. One of the best ways you can help us spread the word is by leaving us a review and sharing the podcast with other Christian school principals you're connected with. You can also follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Join the conversation and share any posts that resonate with you. Every share makes a difference in helping more leaders find encouragement and practical tools. And remember, the podcast is just one way we help. We also love serving schools through speaking and workshops. Our keynotes and sessions are designed to give you actionable strategies you can take back to your team and implement right away. If you'd like more details, just send us an email at info@christianprinciplespodcast.com. We'd love to connect. Until next time, thanks for joining us on the Christian Principles Podcast.